Welcome back, fans and friends. For this upcoming video, I have from actually Jada, which is not a company I usually purchase from, but they happen to have this on the shelf. And as you can see, it was not having fun there. And this is brand new, straight out of Walmart, and it is already ready to fall apart. Anyway, this is the Dodge Demon. I believe it's the first version, so the 2018. There was a Demon 170 version as the final Dodge Challenger production before they canceled it in 2023. The Demon 170, I don't think this is that one. It has, as we can see there, the Hellcat on the door as it is on this box, and we have there the wheels and everything else, and we're going to take a look at this. Is it important? Probably not. The pink slip series, I'm just going to get into a little bit more, and then here it is there. Jada QR code, the pink slips, Jada everything else. I am not familiar with their version of the stamping there, so the printouts. And as you can see there, the licensing with FCA instead of Stellantis, so they're still doing that. And then we have Audi. I did see an Audi R8, so I'm hoping this one looks better than that one. The other one just looked like a fancy Hot Wheels Premium, and I wasn't having it. So there you have Lamborghini, Dodge, Nissan, and Porsche. And so what I wanted to get into is this. I think was about $8, so we'll see how well it does. And actually, I'll probably the next video I will do after that one is this one here, which I think is going to be a disappointment. And this here is the Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. So this is the 2023, also the final year of production. So green light, the price stayed the same. And then the one thing I will quickly bring up, because this is not obviously the video for this car, although it is nearly identical. I am seeing that the hood doesn't open. So therefore, the car looks nice and it comes in this plastic holder. So they did do some things to make it not really worth more your money, but I do believe they're also giving you less. And I did see, however, M2 in their deluxe box ones. I brought it up half a dozen times. I'm just going to check the ones that I have. I saw the Firebird 400 HO new release. The doors don't open. And then also the Dodge Challenger new release. The doors don't open. So the hood on both of them, I was able to open it, but in the end I didn't purchase them because it's the same price, but you actually are getting less. Now if you're going to live in the package, that's fine. But for display purposes, if the door doesn't open, then I mean, obviously it's in a sour point for me. But I don't know if I'm going to buy any more if they're going to be like that. You're going to have to look for the old releases. So inside your package, you do get this little plastic thing here. It's not as fancy as Greenlight. This thing, I guess, keeps it from banging around in there. And you can just see just like in what kind of condition this thing was in, right? Like a raccoon tried to open it and did not. But it's getting there, was getting there. And then also this is the important thing here, is you get this little, I think it's plastic and cardboard sliding tray. Unfortunately, it looks, oh, it might be aluminum actually. So if it's stamped aluminum, you can see there, plastic would be molded. It looks really nice. The problem is it is huge. And it's going to bounce around in there. So it is nice, a nice add-on. You get, and as you can see there, the little tab locks it in place, but it will still bounce around. Perhaps I will put the plastic insert. If no, it doesn't physically fit. So yeah, it does not physically fit. You're just going to have to deal with the fact you got this really nice aluminum tray thingy, but the car does not want. Anyway, in here you see a drag racing. The Demon is very famous for being one of the fastest non-HRA compliant vehicles in terms of doing the quarter mile and or 0 to 60. So we'll do the standardized review. You see there the steering wheel right to the front windshield. I do believe we'll take a closer look when I do the side shot. So there is a passenger seat. Sometimes, at least with the Demon 170, it's like $1 or something for the rear seats. To keep the car as light as possible, they put a roll bar instead. Anyway, it is relatively easy to see into the cabin. The best part is, not the best part, but one of the good parts is you have there the rear view mirrors. There's the hood scoop for the car. We have there the lights, and interestingly, they actually are inserts. You can just see there it's plastic. Just for reference, the green light is just painted over and non-insert, so I don't know how much harder it is for them, but clearly they did not go that route. We don't see Challenger or Demon written across the grille. I don't know if it's supposed to be. I don't know how important that is. You can just see right into the cabin. And in the racing wheels, which are nearly identical actually to the Challenger SRT. By the way, this is an SRT Hellcat, so this would be a later version of the performance one. This thing, I think, with 9-to-1 octane, developed something like 808 horsepower, and it goes up to 840 if you use 100 octane. So you can just see there the cutout for the doors, and the good news is the doors open, so at least you're getting that. So it is actually, in fact, one step up from the green light in terms of what you're getting. The exact opposite of the M2, where the hood will open and the doors will not. But M2 does not do modern cars, so I will stop ranting about that. Anyway, you see there the bucket seats, but no roll bar. That's why the NHRA bans them from the quarter-mile listing tracks. You can see there, and I don't know if I can quite see the rear seats. Doesn't look like it, but anyway, there's the gas can right there, not painted nicely in any way. Just to compare it with the green light one, you can just see it there. Green light actually also comes with the rear view mirror, so that's great too. Anyway, onto the back, there you have Dodge, and pretty much nothing else, nothing on the license plate. There's the radio area, and you can just see it is nice and easy to see through the windows. There's the exhaust. I do happen to like the exhausts on these cars. They have that semicircular, and in fact, I do think, did Jada do this better than green light? I have no idea, but I'll do the next video right after so you can compare them. And right side the same as the left side in terms of even having the mufflers there, and the door, the rear view mirrors having no reflective surfaces on them. Sometimes green light does it, sometimes they don't. There's the Demon symbol right on the front and a big one on the back. Wheels are not two-piece, so if you're looking for the rubber on plastic, unfortunately, you don't get it. And last but not least, the hood does not open. I feel like I'm going to break it, but it is basically the green light. You're getting the doors opening and then nothing else. Anyway, on to the bottom. It's 166 scale and made in Thailand, so very similar to what there's another company, 164, I believe. Oh, and the interesting thing actually here is too, I just saw this now, Jada apparently bought and or collaborates with Majorette. So Majorette is a company I maybe have 2 or 3 vehicles from. They were great, and I just realized that because nowhere else on this packaging do we see Majorette, and the slip up is actually right here. And then you see here FCA trademark, blah, blah, blah. I believe that's 2021. It's casting, 238C for reference. And it's scale 166. But there is, in fact, nothing. And you can just see there, the 572, 5041, I believe, is the same as the package. If I remember, it is 572. And it is in fact different. So yeah, you're just gonna have to deal with that. It's G14, and you can just see it there. The numbers don't quite match up. So I don't know what's going on. Jada is, I don't know, hijacking their shipments and sending you Majorette vehicles, or Majorette doesn't really care. And you can just see there where it's been printed twice, but both numbers are wrong. And you get the barest amount of underneath the car. Cool, not cool. Like I said, it's the first time I've taken it apart. I didn't buy the Audi. I think the Audi might have been worse in terms of things offered. So anyway, I love the Dodge Challenger, so that's, I'll live with it. Anyway, I'd say mediocre to good. You're at least getting the doors opening. You are getting the rearview mirrors and the Demon version of the car, which I believe is the 2018 model, not the 2023. It would be called the Demon 170. Unfortunately, it is one-piece wheels, so very similar to a Hot Wheels Premium. And the hood doesn't open, apparently like the new green lights. And so there we have it. Fans and friends, the Dodge Challenger Demon version of the car from Majorette / Jada, depending on who you like better. Comes with this nice fancy tin, and hopefully if you want to buy it new and display it, you will not get a partially torn open version of it. Makes no difference as I opened it. And thank you for watching. This is Thomas from Toronto, and to the next one.